Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, we're going to be taking a look at an absolutely insane story. Apparently this is coming out of China, which is a little bit more surprising to me because I feel like a lot of the time, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but a lot of the time when you hear stories about like kids basically spending a bunch of money on mobile games and whatnot, it seems like it really kind of happens like here in the United States a lot, but I don't really hear about that elsewhere. I just kind of figured maybe it was because we all sucked at parenting. But this is a just crazy story, man. Like, you read something like this, and not only am I just like, how did this even happen? Like, I feel like there's 8 billion ways this could have been avoided. But it's also like, how do you come back from this? Like, how do you move forward? What do you do, right? So today we'll be taking a look at a story where apparently a teenage girl completely bankrupted her family, spending money on like mobile games on her phone and whatnot. And like, it was just it was like a crazy level of just financial destruction levied against this Chinese family by their daughter. So here on the channel, we've covered before a lot of situations where, you know, kids will spend, you know, $8,000 or something on some mobile game, on Clash of Clans or Fruit Ninja. I don't know mobile games anymore, bro. I stopped playing most of them when I was like 15 or 16, but I don't think we've ever heard of a situation where someone spent like upwards of $50,000 to $100,000, something crazy like that, on some mobile games. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know. We'll get into all that. I'm gonna introduce y'all to the story here real quick. So mobile game expenses can really add up if you're not careful, but one gamer went way too far after spending everything her family had earned, all without her parents' knowledge. According to a report from insider Gong Yiwang, the mother of the 13-year-old received a call from her daughter's school expressing concern that she was playing too many games. This resulted in Yiwang checking her bank balance and was absolutely mortified to see the damage her child had caused over the course of a few months. What Yiwang discovered was that her daughter had spent $64,000 on games, including $30,000 on microtransactions over the course of 5 months. Plus, she spent money on classmates so they could play with her. Yiwang's daughter told Elephant News that she had no idea where the money was coming from or how much she was spending. However, she reportedly tried to hide the evidence from her parents by deleting the transactions off her phone. Alright, so there's like 6 or 7 things already that I kind of want to address one by one here. So first and foremost, I just am, out of everything here, surprised that she only found out about this after the school called home and was like, oh hey, your daughter's playing too much video games at school. Like, she didn't get a call from the bank like, hey, you've spent $64,000 in the last 4 months on Candy Crush. Anything you think maybe we should know about with that? I don't know, like the man of the house or like the husband didn't check the bank account like, hey, where the fuck are all of our savings at? Apparently nothing. Apparently there was no safeguards in place, no safety nets, anything, but apparently the school was the one who broke the news of this whole thing. I don't know how it works over in China, but like here in the United States, I don't even it just seems incomprehensible because like, I feel like most people's like debit cards and like bank accounts have like a daily transaction limit, right? Like for instance, if you try to spend $4,000 on your debit card when you typically spend $70 a day to live, right? Usually like your bank kind of like freezes your card or like calls you and is like, hey, are these transactions ones that you're making? Or, you know, something, right? Like some sort of safety net is in place to prevent people from just like destroying their lives financially or getting scammed by someone who steals their info, right? Like nothing in place, by the way, just allowed to do whatever you want, apparently. But also I want to point out, how did it take months for this to be figured out, right? Like, how do you go months without checking your fucking bank account? I don't even understand, like, how that would even be possible, because, like, if you think about it, right, most people, I would say, check their bank account, like, I don't know, daily, every other day, at least, like, once or something a week to make sure, like, oh, hey, my money's not just draining out of my bank account, I have enough money to cover my bills, you know, like, that's kind of part of being financially responsible, is, like, knowing what's going on with your money. How did it take, like, it says 5 months that this all went on, right? 5 months you didn't check your bank account and notice like $3 grand a week disappearing to just like fucking Raid Shadow Legends and Clash of Clans or something, bro? Like, that just didn't cross your mind as something to maybe take a look out for? Now, it also says she spent money on her classmates so that they could play. So I guess, I don't know, she was kicking it in class, just buying everybody fucking gyms to upgrade their town hall. That's kind of hood, I guess. Like, I mean, if you're gonna get away with fucking 5 months worth of stealing your entire family's, like, life savings, you might as well buy your friends something nice too, right? Dude, I wish there were kids like this when I was in school, man. Like, just pop up at the lunch table or whatever and pull up Clash of Clans, and he's like, hey, bro, you want the $99.99 bundle of gyms for your town hall so we win this next war? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want some gyms, man. Like, yeah, boost my town hall, bro. But it says, she had no idea where the money was coming from or how much she was spending. Now, I think that's just complete bullshit. Like, there's just no possible way, right? Like, there's no way you're so dumb, I guess, to not know that your parents' money comes from them, like, working or doing something, right? Like, when I was 13, I was very well introduced to the idea of, like, what a job is, like, how my parents paid for bills and, like, gave us food. I mean, like, we weren't just oblivious, complete fucking morons, right? Like, they had no idea, right? Like, there's just no way that she had no clue, like, oh, hey, my mom's debit card that's on my phone, she probably gets the money from that at that job she works 40 hours a week at. That's probably where all that comes from, right? But it's clear she knew she did something wrong because, like, it says she tried to hide the evidence, I guess, and, like, deleted the transactions off her phone. I assume that means she just, like, deleted the games, because, like, from my knowledge, you can't just, like, go on to things and just delete the transactions. Like, I've never really heard anything like that. So, yeah, my assumption is she was just, like, going through and just deleting all the apps off of her phone so it looked like she didn't have them. I don't know why she would have ever thought that was gonna work, as if, like, the bank was just mysteriously making up all of these transactions randomly over the course of 5 entire fucking months, right? Like, nothing about this situation really makes any sense. I don't think it's really intended to make any sense. I think this is just one of those things where it's like, you kind of just have to look and just wonder, bro. So, I don't know, I feel like some people will look at a situation like this and they'll be like, oh, this is the problem with mobile games and microtransactions, yada, yada, yada. And don't get me wrong, I hate microtransactions just as much as the next guy. But ultimately, I don't know, like, I have never been inclined to spend $30,000 on microtransactions, right? Like, that's just never come across my mind, right? At a certain point, you kind of just have to, like, deal with the self-responsibility, you know what I mean? And I get it, we're talking about a 13-year-old child here. It's not like this is a fully grown adult that, like, is fully aware of what they're doing. I mean, I feel like at 13, you know well enough, especially if you're deleting the stuff off your phone, you know well enough that what you're doing is wrong and you know you shouldn't be doing it, but being 13 at the same time, you make stupid, just outrageous decisions, especially if your parents are doing nothing to intervene or, like, stop you from doing that shit. Realistically, in my opinion, this, like, 95% goes back on the parents. I mean, in every way, shape, or form. Like, they, number one, completely failed their daughter by allowing her to become so addicted to mobile games that, you know, pick your fucking poison, right? She's distracted in school to the point that the school has to call home and be like, hey, your kid is just coming to school and playing video games on her phone. So she's distracted in school and not taking her schoolwork seriously. She's spending tens of thousands of dollars on microtransactions and just, like, random shit that has to do with these games or whatever, right? I can only imagine that she was showing signs at home that there was some sort of problem here, right? Like, throughout all of these huge red flags that were constantly being presented to the parents in this situation, like, hey, your daughter kind of has a problem here that needs to be addressed. They didn't do anything. Like, they didn't show any sort of, like, parental responsibility here. Like, even to the point, like, they're clearly so irresponsible, they don't even check their bank account in 5 months to realize, like, hey, our daughter's spending a bunch of money on video games, right? Like, if you don't look at your bank account for 5 months, you're just irresponsible. Like, it's just all it comes down to. And, like, allowing it to get this bad with your kid and not intervening or doing anything, like, that's just bullshit. The mother, meanwhile, who only has 7 cents left to her name, is trying to recoup the lost money by requesting refunds, but so far she hasn't gotten any of the funds back. Quote, I never thought a 13-year-old girl could do this, the mom said. Quote, I'm in a daze. My head feels like it's going to explode. So she has 7 cents left to her name. Like, I mean, they can't pay any light bills with that. They probably can't even afford, like, food with that, bro. You can't even buy a stick of bubble gum for 7 cents, right? Like, it's Jover for you, dog. You can't even put 7 cents in the little little like gumball dispensing machines at the fucking mall and get a gumball to chew on, right? Like it's I don't know what you do at that point, but she's trying to get money back by requesting these refunds, and apparently that's not working out because when it turns out you've spent $50,000 or $60,000 on fucking, you know, mobile games over 5 months and you didn't care for 5 months, I'm assuming that those companies probably don't really see any reason to show you any sort of I guess mercy for these decisions that were made. So when it comes down to it, right, this is just personal responsibility going out the window. Just I never thought a 13-year-old girl could do this. I'm in a daze. Like, yeah, I get blaming your kid to a certain point, but let's not sit here and pretend like this 13-year-old was just, you know, pulling off the craziest heist of the century. She has complete fucking morons for parents who aren't even grown-ups enough to check their bank accounts once every half of a year. I mean, like, it was really just more or less a recipe for disaster. Like, I feel like if it wasn't, you know, this kid spending money on microtransactions and shit, that something else was gonna end up becoming a problem. Because, like I said, these are just people who realistically were not involved enough in what their kids were doing. Like, I'm pretty sure most smartphones and whatnot come now with features to, like, prevent shit like this. To, like, prevent kids from taking, you know, the card associated with, like, their phone or whatever and just running up a bill on it. Like, it's not like this is something that's just completely unpreventable that just happened. So, honestly, I really can't show too much sympathy for the parents. Like, yeah, it sucks you got 7 cents left to your name, I guess, but if some fucking person hacked into your bank account 4 months ago and drained the entire thing, it's not like you would have noticed either. And something, this don't make sense either. How did you find out only after, you know, the school called you and said that there was a problem? Meanwhile, you had 7 cents left to your name. Like, I don't know, when you went to fucking McDonald's and tried to get a, like, Big Mac meal and they were like, oh, hey, your card's declined. And you, like, scratched your fucking head and I don't know, you went and got in your car and you went to the gas station and tried to put gas in your car and it said, hey, your card's declined, insufficient funds. Like, you didn't fucking stop to think, oh, hey, maybe I should call the bank and see what's going on here. Like, how the fuck were you functioning for so long with basically no money whatsoever? I mean, $64,000 just disappeared overnight, right? And all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, well, what the fuck? I only got 7 cents left. Well, the school's calling. Let me go answer the phone. Oh, what do you mean my daughter's been spending every dime I have on fucking Farmville? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I just can't feel sorry for people like this. Like, it's more or less a self-inflicted wound. Like, raise your children better, be a better parent, watch over your finances, put safeguards in place to prevent shit like this from happening if you think there's going to be a problem. And that's like 99% of the issue right there. That's like 99% of the effort it takes to prevent some sort of cataclysmic event like this from happening. So, I don't know, man. It's just insane to see stories like this. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about this insane bullshit and signing out.